Good evening, CAFS crew. Hope you guys are well and had the most fabulous day today. A huge welcome to everyone who is joining us both in Facebook as well as Instagram. I hope you guys had a great day today and had an enjoyable Father's Day yesterday. Please let me know who is jumping on. And tonight we're going to share and have a look at inside strategic approaches to the IRP. We've had lots of conversations over the last couple of weeks in regards to what the course looks like, the transformation that you'll see, all of the goodies that are actually in the course itself. So tonight you kind of get a bit of a sneak peek. You get to see what's inside the course before you dive in. And look, we have 8 modules, 2 bonuses, plus our private Facebook group to support you guys, no matter where you are on your journey, whether you're just starting out as a CAFS teacher and trying to navigate this IRP, but also, hey, Kathy, nice to see you, but also very experienced CAFS teachers who are thinking or have been thinking about dabbling into this teacher-facilitated IRP. They're not sure if it's going to be the right path for them, but trust me when I say this, there's over 250 CAFS teachers who have already seen the results of it. They've done the course, they've seen the results, not just only in their CAFS crew, in that IRP, in the actual project itself, but in their collaboration, in their relationships, in that sense of community across the class, but also their HSC results, because they're starting to see that really clear connection between the content, the skills, and then that application. So thanks so much for joining me, guys, tonight. I'm going to, in a second, share my screen, and you're going to get a very, very sneak peek of the actual course itself within the portal. So it's going to be me logging in, but you're going to see what it's like for you as a student and what you will see in your dashboard. So let me know if you have any questions about the teacher facilitator IRP approach as we dive into today. And I'm going to show you and unpack some of these modules for you, because most of them are literally things that you've been talking to me about, that you're time poor, that you're not sure about the process, that you're looking for ideas around the topic that you're going to maybe potentially look at, that you're not sure about how to actually approach it as a class. Do you get the kids to work in smaller groups? What do the research teams look like? So they're the sorts of things that we're going to dive into. So let me share my screen with you. All right, hopefully you can see that okay. If you're on Instagram, you're going to have to either hop over to Facebook, or I'm going to talk you through each of the modules. So as I mentioned, there are 8 modules altogether, and they have been designed very intentionally. So I know some of you guys have done courses before where you just feel like it's a bit of a mishmash of different things that have just been all thrown in. This literally shows you the whole process and what you can do with your kids. So when you first sign up to the course, you actually get your own online login to my CAFS Professional Learning portal. So you'll log into your portal, and it's my website. So you should log in, and then you'll get access to your CAFS portal. So as you can see, down the side, it will show you all the products or all the courses that you've purchased before. So if you've loved my resources, and if you have some of those resource booklets, your IRP course will also sit within here. So if you've joined Strive or Exploring Your Relevant CAFS, or if you're part of the CAFS conference, or if you're part of the CAFS collective, or if you've taken life skills in CAFS, and I know, Kathy, you guys have that, you'll see access to the IRP course within here. So as I mentioned, you'll get your own unique login, and then you'll have access to the 8 modules. Now, this course has been designed to go from start to finish if you have never taught CAFS before. If you're a CAFS newbie, or if you maybe in your first few years of teaching CAFS, let us know if that's you. Just say, yep, give me a wave and let me know if that's you. And it's kind of like a bit of a sequential order. So we start out with the very first thing. I welcome you into the course itself, and I kind of unpack what it looks like. So within the course itself, it is all about fast-tracking your success with this process. So really allowing you to strategically approach the IRP, really sequentially, but also being able to facilitate this IRP successfully without saving your time and without sacrificing your time and well-being in the process. You'll also get access to a private Facebook group where you can ask as many questions as you want about the course itself. And also the great benefit of my portal, so the way the website has been developed, is you can actually comment in every lesson, which is great because then I can give you guys feedback as you go along. Or if you're stuck on one particular part and you're like, oh, I'm not sure about this, Kell, you can actually ask a question right there and then I can an email gets sent to me and then I can give you feedback on that, which is phenomenal. So again, Facebook questions, you can pop those in there. If you're hoping to get this course as a NESA registered course, the IRP course is a 12-hour NESA registered course, which is phenomenal because not all of the courses available these days have actually gone to that path because NESA changed a few of their guidelines. So it is a 12-hour NESA registered course. And if you'd like to actually use that as part of your accreditation, you have to submit some small evidence in each module and then upload that to a Google Drive. So you'll have all those links there. And that's it. Then you get started. So module 1 is all about setting up the framework for you guys to actually dive into it. So we look at a more streamlined approach, and I provide some suggestions and some pathways for you guys that you might like to take in regards to that. So people have been talking about working in research teams. People have been talking about potentially linking their IRP to their option, which is one of the pathways that I suggest, but also potentially looking at groups in context or having a broader connection across the course itself. So you might tap into quite a number of different things. So that's the focus of module 1. And then as a result of that, you also get a number of different resources inside of that particular module. So not only you get the learning from me, so that face-to-face learning, so in the platform, in a video form, you also get resources and templates that go hand in hand with that to make your life so much easier when you're actually diving through. Okay, so module 2 is all about these links. So talking about topics that you might like to link your IRP with, and then giving you guys some guidance around that. So as I mentioned, you might look at the case study for the option, and that could be your main focus when you're looking at that. You might like to look at some equity issues in the groups in context section of our HSC, and then maybe have that as your focus. You could potentially look at your groups your individuals and work section for your option, and also link that to maybe multiple expectations, commitments, how you kind of manage that work-life balance, and then link that to parenting and caring. It just depends. So I provide some of those suggestions for you guys that you might like to dabble into with your CAFS kids. Again, there's a comprehensive booklet that goes hand in hand with that. Let's see if this is going to work. I have to share another tab for you. Just quickly do that. I'll stop sharing and I'll reshare using this booklet. So as you see here, you get the booklet that goes with it with typically 3 lessons in each module. You'll get your learning intentions and your success criteria there. And then just the main documents that will be linked back to that. Excuse me. Link to that particular part of the module itself. And some prompting questions, some activities for you guys to do as you dive into that particular module. And then some activities. So here we have pathway 1 again, options, pathway 2, a few options, and that type of thing. So that's what we're looking for within that particular module. I'll share back into the course. So you can see here you can kind of go in and out of the course itself. So if you're stuck in a particular area, you might like to stay there or you might like to come back. It actually captures where you're up to. Once you've completed that module, you just go click complete lesson over here, and then it takes you on to the next module. You might like to come back to it later on, or you might like to start at different points depending on where you are at in your journey. Module 3 is all about really making sure we have that clear focus and embedding our teaching and learning activities throughout the lesson. So when we're actually uncovering the content, we're making sure we actually deliver it and have that application really running nicely throughout that. So as you can see, you have a number of different booklets that, hey Nick, are attached to that as well, but also looking at just different ideas that you guys might like to explore for having that connection really strong. A few little bonuses in there. Module 4 is all around, we know that often the kids have the process and the IRP skills in terms of research and application. And then when they kind of bring that to life or not in the HSC, there's often a bit of a disjoint. So they do this IRP process. We then also have a HSC that they're going to have 25 marks awarded to from their HSC. Often we don't see that connection. So that whole module actually links in with you. Excellent. Thanks, Nick. Hey, Sharon, nice to see you. Okay, all right, so this one is pretty hefty. As you can see, there's a number of different resources for you guys. And if you're new to CAFS or if you've been doing it for a while and you're kind of not sure, you're like, our kids are often stuck, you know, for their research methodology section, their marks aren't particularly good. They're often a little bit lower than average, below the state average. What can I do to actually help them? And that's this perfect module for you. Module 4 will really unpack that for the kids as well. All right, so module 5 and 6 is more around what it's going to look like in the classroom on the ground. So as a CAFS teacher, what will I see? What tools will I use in my classroom to make it really easy for the kids to have this process facilitated? So I love Google. So I use Google apps, so mainly Google Drive, Google Forms, Google Sheets and Google Docs to all work together to help my research teams, which is how I set up my CAFS classroom in research teams to actually facilitate this process. So being able to communicate with each other, being able to document the process, that's how we use it. So we use Google Docs to do that. And then we obviously use our Google Forms is how we send our questionnaires out. And then our data, brings it back to our Google Sheets and we get to analyze our data like that, create some graphs. It's all automated rather than us actually having to do it by scratch and, drawing it by hand. Hey, Danielle, nice to see you. So that's module 5. And then module 6 is around how do we actually then interpret that data. And I know this is one thing that the kids really struggle on. They can kind of do some writing, but they often get quite scared or quite nervous when it comes to analysing data. And the kids don't know what to look for. They can't see the trends. They can't see the connections. So I show you some really, really strategic ways to do that with the kids. And within the module itself, as you'll see in a minute, I kind of provide those, I suppose, step-by-step processes for the kids. So they know, okay, when I get a graph, what am I doing with that graph? What am I looking for? When I'm analysing that graph, what's the whole purpose of doing that? So I kind of show that to you guys and some of my, tried and tested ways that I've tried that with the kids as well. Okay. Module 7 is assessing the IRP. So providing you guys with a sample of an assessment task for you guys to actually have a go at using and to see what you can do to actually tweak it, to make it suitable for your class, suitable for your school, and literally work out what you're going to assess. Are you going to assess methodologies? Are you going to assess analysis, discussion, conclusion, and recommendations? Are you going to assess it as a take-home task? Are you going to assess it as an in-class task where you might have the results in the class and the kids might have to analyse those results in class in maybe a 50 to a 60-minute period, and they have to ask a series of questions? Do you have a series of HSC-style questions that the kids can actually answer instead of doing all those other bits? They have to do the process, but we can examine it or we can assess it in lots of different ways. So in Module 7, I show what that could look like and then what you might like to do to tweak that and change it according to your school. Then Module 8 is all around the actual assessment part, itself. So looking at some high, middle, low sample answers or sample IRPs. And you guys, if you haven't taught CAFS before, or if you haven't seen what analysis discussion looks like or methodology looks like, I give you guys some samples so you can kind of see what the expectation is. So what could kids be doing in terms of maybe they're lower kind of level. They're middle and they're high. And we actually go through some of these and we annotate it, and we give some feedback, and we go through marking guidelines and how we might kind of unpack that a little bit. So you guys are fully prepared when your kids hand in your IRPs in week 8 or 9 of term 4 or possibly term 1 to then actually put that into practice, to go, okay, I've learned the steps, I put this in process, I put this in action. I'm now doing the actual IRP, teacher-facilitated IRP with my kids. Now I'm going to give them all the tools. I'm going to make sure we do lots of revision as well as the process itself. Okay, the kids submit it. Now we're going to actually mark it. So that in Module 8, we really look at how you can develop accurate and reliable judgments on your kids' IRPs once you mark it. So they're the 8 modules, and you'll see quite a few different bonuses in there. So we have access to a bonus course called Purposeful Assessment in Year 12 CAFS, and then there's 5 modules in that, basically unpacking some main areas around assessment in Year 12, some things that you can do strategically to change your scope and sequence, and what you can kind of do to have maximum impact with Year 12, but also making sure the kids are actually having lots of opportunity to be assessed in different ways, but always thinking about that end game. You guys have heard me say it before, always working towards that end game, which is really essential and crucial in our course. So things like how we actually assess the kids, what type of assessment tasks should we be using, my ideal scope and sequence. I know you guys ask that question a lot, so I'll show you a sample of that, as well as assessment schedules, outcome mappings, how to do that properly, and then a sample assessment task. Then to top it off, we have our bonus 2, which is all around research methodology exam preparation. As I mentioned before, if you look at your RAP data, you'll probably see that the kids are pretty low. Out of 25, they might be looking at 15s, 10s. They often struggle with that part of the HSC. So giving you guys lots of tools and strategies and templates and scaffolds to help the kids work on their exam preparation questions. So a whole big bunch of revision and exam prep questions to help the kids really get through to that HSC, obviously the trial, but also in best preparation for the HSC. And then that's the course, I suppose, in a nutshell. I'll stop sharing my screen. But what you also get is access to me in the private Facebook group. So we have a private Facebook group that you can ask as many questions as you would like of me as your CAFS coach and mentor. So I know some of you guys have done online courses before, and the presenter, you don't see them again, or you don't even know who's actually presenting this material. It might be all packaged up nicely, and you don't have that constant connection, or you might just get an email back from the person, or you just are able to kind of type in some sort of forum or a dashboard, or you're not sure who's actually talking to you. But inside all of my courses, you have me as the person who is guiding you and mentoring you along the way. You can ask as many questions as you want. You guys know now that this is my full-time job. It's not just an add-on, and I feel super passionate about supporting all of you guys. So you can ask as many questions as you want inside our private Facebook group, but also having teachers who are doing the same course, and also teachers who have done it before as well that can help you guys too. So as you know, doors close on Friday night for strategic approaches to the IRP. And if you have been searching for a better way to do the IRP, searching for something that's going to help you save some time, save your well-being, get that big pile of IRPs off your floor that you often look at in the school holidays in December and January, this has been packaged in a big pink bow, ready for you guys to, hey Tara, ready for you guys to dive into. So the IRP is all ready for you guys to go. And look, it is jam-packed, but it is in bite-sized bits for you guys to dive into, little bits at a time, to make you feel very, very confident and prepared for next term, if that's when you're doing the IRP, or possibly next year. So if you'd like to learn anything else about the course itself, or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me a DM, send me a message, or send me an email, and we can answer those questions that you do have. So common questions I do get are how long it should take you. It should take you however long. You have to put in the hard work, but like I said, there are bite-sized bits. So it is a 12-hour NESA registered course, but of course, you're going to put this in action every step of the way. So it's not just developed for you guys to kind of go through it and then do nothing with it. You're going to actually do little tiny things along the way that you would ordinarily do in your classroom anyway, in preparation to help the kids get there. So 12-hour NESA registered course, bite-sized bits of professional learning or of NESA evidence, access to me as your coach and mentor in a private, Facebook group, as well as our 8 modules, giving you that kind of stepping stone to facilitate the IRP successfully, but also access to my 2 bonus offers. So the revision questions and exam prep questions for research methodology, and a whole big variety of different ones, often common misconceptions in the course, often things that the kids really struggle with. So that's in there as well. And our purposeful assessment in Year 12 CAFS, really unpacking what Year 12 assessment should look like, should sound like, and should be like for the kids. So look, again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to know a bit more about the course or what kind of is entailed, head over to thelearnnet.com/IRP. And look, guys, as I've said before, there's been over 250 CAFS teachers complete this course in under 2.5 years. So I feel very, very proud of this offer and very, very proud to say this is my first course. And it was kind of my starting point in the Learning Network. So again, if you are thinking about it could be the course for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Ask any questions you do have. And don't forget, I know people are busy at school, leadership, principal, admin, SAM, all those sorts of people. Grab the paperwork that you need and get their signature. And doors close on Friday, so registrations close on Friday. I've also offered a bit of a sneaky offer as well. If you've been thinking about the CAFS Collective, I know there are quite a few teachers who are like, oh, I missed out on last time, or wasn't the right timing for me, but now we're kind of coming into term 4. Perfect opportunity for professional learning. So I've packaged both the IRP course alongside the CAFS Collective, and I'm offering it to you guys for $597. So ordinarily the IRP course is $397 standalone, and the CAFS Collective is $450 standalone. Put them together, so it's $597 for the package. So basically you're paying for the CAFS Collective for $200, which is crazy, to have me as your coach and mentor for the next 12 months inside the CAFS Collective, as well as all of the resources. I'm talking like a whole year worth of resources already, and templates and scaffolds and our masterclass sessions already uploaded into the portal. So you have access to that. So if you're keen on doing that as well, that's there too. So $597 for the CAFS Collective and the IRP, or the IRP course on its own for $397. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Reach out, and I hope to see you inside Strategic Approaches to the IRP. Take care, guys. Thanks again. See you, Instagram.